Welcome back to Southwest Yard and Garden. We're still in Ron's shaded garden, and now we're going to illustrate some of the questions that Ron gets as a master gardener. Ron, I'm sure you get calls about this as a master gardener because there's some leaves missing from the plant. Oh, and you got a tomato kind of chewed on by something too. What did this?
It's that tomato hornworm, Curtis. They're pretty bad this year. They're hard to distinguish because they blend in so much with the foliage.
Does some damage. And I see it's chewed on the fruit, and you don't want to eat that one after the worm's been chowing on it.
It just about took care of that one.
But that's also the worm that turns into the sphinx moth, the one that flies around just at dusk. Kind of looks like a hummingbird flying around at dark, but it's really a moth.
Mm-hmm.
Ron, you receive calls about viruses too, don't you?
Yeah, that looks like a mosaic of some kind.
Okay, yes. There are a number of those. Could be tobacco mosaic. That's why we don't like smokers in our garden sometimes.
That's right. I keep them out of here.
But there are other viruses we worry about. We've got curly top virus, which attacks tomatoes. Last year was extremely bad. This year is not so bad. And we've got tomato spotted wilt, and I haven't seen that in your garden this year.
I hope I don't have that. That's a bad one.
You really don't want either one of those.
No, sir.
I see a plant here that's severely wilted, and I know this is a common problem in our New Mexico gardens as well. What do you have here, Ron?
That looks like Chile Wilt, Curtis.
A real common disease that we see in our chili. It usually comes with the monsoons when the roots stay moist a little too much. Leaves start wilting, they start drying and turning brown and crisp. We see the fruit still here, and actually it's still edible. Still pretty hot too. In fact, these will be hotter than others. Once they've wilted like this will make the chili extra hot. This is one of the plants that you pulled up from your garden. Here the leaves are wilted, but now we can see what's really going on. It's a root rot. As you pulled it, the epidermis sloughed off. See this white layer, but these are not healthy roots, are they?
No, not at all.
And we can see now the stem is also decomposing. It's rotted. There's nothing alive from this point downward.
I'm glad that I don't have much of that this year. Some years it can really be dominant. Other years you don't have as much.
You can really take out a crop.
It sure will. We get a lot of questions on the Master Gardener hotline about people that have squash and all kinds of blossoms, but they won't set fruit. Can you help them out on that?
Oh yeah, I bet you they're looking at a flower like this one, which is a male flower. You see below it, there's just the peduncle, the stem that carries it. There's no fruit that shows there. Inside here is only pollen. Whereas if they were going to have fruit, by the way, these are produced first, and then you'll have the female flowers produced later. Now when you have a flower like this one that has the fruit behind it, this is the female blossom in squash. You'll see the same thing in melons and cucumbers and pumpkins. But this is the female flower. It doesn't produce pollen. A bumblebee or another bee carries the pollen in here to pollinate the flower. Then this fruit can develop. And these are the ones that develop later. You'll have a lot of male flowers first, then you have the females developing and the males continuing. Well, this is a melon, and it has a male blossom here, and right next to it is the fruit, and the female petals have already fallen off the blossom. Ron, thank you for showing us your garden and showing us some of these problems that we hear about so often, yet don't really understand.
You're welcome, Curtis. You're welcome here anytime. I'm glad to see you come down for this occasion because I've had you down here on a lot of problems before.
And now we know why for something like cucumber, we'll see a lot of blossoms and not see the cucumbers forming. And that also explains something like a chili, which has the male and female parts together, so we see the blossoms. We're going to be seeing the chilies.
Good.